All right, friends, welcome back to History with Tim. So, with it being the holiday seasons and everything, I'm going to be very, I suppose the word is scarce with content the next few weeks. As most of you know, I do not live in New York anymore, but I do travel to New York for the holidays to be with my family, being my family is across the Northeast. So, wow, my facial hair is looking aggressive compared to me when I started the channel. This is pretty wild, but I still want to get content out. So what we're going to do today is I'm going to do some gameplays for the next few weeks. I will have a reaction video to a few songs, especially with Christmas on its way, historical songs, but we're going to be doing the American well, I don't want to say American, the United States of America campaign of Empire Total War. Now, one day I'll do the whole Road to Independence campaign that starts with the founding of Jamestown and goes all the way to this campaign. But I thought just because this is a busy season, we're all doing things, it'd be fun just for a little commentary while I play the game. So thank you all for joining us. Again, I do apologize for the scarcity. It's the end of the year. Everyone has to do all their things before the year ends. I do want to make sure I still get content out. And here we go. All right, friends, so here we are with the 13 colonies. So my southernmost colony is Savannah, Georgia, then Charleston, Carolinas. This would technically be North Carolina. This would be South Carolina. Virginia at Williamsburg. A lot of people don't realize that. Williamsburg was actually the capital. I think a lot of us forget that due to, people in Williamsburg probably don't forget that. But people in the rest of the country, because we are so familiar with Richmond, because of the American Civil War, Richmond being the capital of Virginia. But it used to be Williamsburg. That's actually where the House of Burgesses, where George Washington and Charles Lee actually... Not Charles Lee. Was it Charles Lee? It might have been Charles Lee. I'm not sure. I have 1776 behind me. I'll give it a read later. But Charles Lee and all these famous Virginians actually worked out of Williamsburg, out of the House of Burgesses. And Washington, as a militia officer, actually took orders from the governor of Virginia. Then we have Annapolis at Maryland, which obviously the capital of Maryland is still Annapolis, I believe. Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, which is our capital. Now, this is actually inaccurate because in the wake of the Revolution, the capital was actually moved to New York City. New York City was the capital right here. That's why I was circling here. New York City was the capital for a time. George Washington was actually sworn in at Federal Hall, which is currently at Wall Street on the south end of Manhattan. You can actually go there today, and there is a statue of Washington there. That's why that's there, because that's where he got sworn in. But right here, you have Albany, New York. Now, New York is kind of weird in this, because here you have Long Island. Oh, there's Hop Hog. But New York actually stretches from here up. So, like, this part's good, because it goes all the way to the river, and then here's Lake Ontario. But this is all part of New York too, technically, but then this is where we start getting to Ohio territory and everything like that. Michigan, Wisconsin, Boston, the Confederation of New England, so obviously I don't have Connecticut, Rhode Island, New Hampshire. Here's Maine, which Maine was actually part of Massachusetts until the Compromise of 1858. So technically this would have just been Upper Massachusetts, but for the sake of the game, it's Maine. So pretty much the objective here is I am doing world domination, so it's pretty much just like any other total war where I am trying to take as much territory and land as possible. So to my north, I am bordered by the British, who control Acadia, New France, Upper Canada, which is Montreal, Rupert's Land, Northwest Territories, and then they also control Newfoundland and Montagnais. I don't think it's called that anymore. To my south, I have the Spanish, who control Florida, the French, who are still in control of Louisiana, who are my allies still currently. This is the royal family of France in control of France. Upper Louisiana, and up here, Fort Saint Marie, Huron territory. Then I have, obviously, the Spanish down here, Spanish and British in control of the Caribbean, and then we have some French and Dutch down here. Now, in this, I actually can, in theory, go to other countries, as you can see here. So here's Europe, England, France, the German states, Italy, Italian states. I know people get very upset when I just say Italy because it didn't become Italy until the late 1800s. The Ottoman Empire, and now here we have India, or what? I heard they're changing the name. I have to do research on that because it's actually very interesting. Ceylon, which is controlled by the Dutch. Also, we do have the Middle East. Here is Kabul. I believe this is where Iran is, if I'm correct. Yeah, I believe this is Iran. No, is it? No, because Iran would be up here, I think. Who knows? Here's Iraq. No, that would be Iran. Yeah, this is Iran. Persia, Istanbul, Jerusalem, Damascus, Cairo. So, we are the United States, though. So, we are a little nothing compared to the other countries. If I was playing World Domination on any other one, we would actually be here. So, my first thing I'm going to do is probably make trade with countries. I'm actually going to go with England first because I think I really need it. And my next course of action will be to build some new trading ports. That's fine. 6309, my first government. Elias ministers. Elias Boudin is my president. So this is kind of cool that like I actually will have elections. So here's the, let's say these are, oh, there's George Washington. He's head of my army. Francis Bellamy, wasn't that a pirate? That's actually kind of funny. Sam Adams, James Madison. So head would probably be Secretary of State, Secretary of Treasury, Attorney General, Secretary of War, Secretary of the Navy, and then Maximilian Howe, Maryland Birch. Interesting. All right, so no, let's keep everything as it is now. Which forces do I have? I'm going to abandon Fort Drummer. Yeah, no, that's stupid. I'm going to start moving troops into these places just because someone will declare war on me because I'm a weak new country. And then John Sullivan. That's actually kind of cool that it's named after actual generals. John Sullivan was actually responsible. So during the Revolution, something that happened was the Iroquois were siding with the British. Now, one of the big causes of the American Revolution was the fact that the colonials, we didn't want to stop settling west of the Appalachians. So this mountain range right here is the Appalachians. The British, after the French and Indian War, had made a deal with the Native Americans saying that they would not expand west of these mountains. But what ended up happening was we, as the colonists, didn't care. Many colonists said that it wasn't their decision. The British made the call without their advice. So let's get a school built there because I don't think I have any schools. I have New Haven. Well, there's actually a real college too. That's kind of funny. Wow, I actually have a lot of community. Oh, you know why? Because this is all the tech that would be done in theory. Let's focus on military for now. But as I was saying, the point was the colonists felt the British had made the decision without their consent. Now, we can get into the debate about, well, it wasn't regardless their decision because it wasn't their land. But in the eyes of the Continentals, they didn't care. They said, we're here, we're the ones governing here, you should not be the ones negotiating for us on our behalf. This is ironic because I often, on this channel especially, cite the fact that George Washington single-handedly started the, in quote, First World War, the 7 Years' War, which incorporated literally all the continents. So I always thought that was a very interesting point of contention with the American Revolution. I'm a very proud American. I love my country. I have a little American flag behind me. I study history though, and when you look at when when you boil down the American Revolution, it really was just us saying, stop making decisions for us. Meanwhile, the British were saying, hey, we protected you, we spent all this money on you, all we're asking you pay something. They they weren't even asking for a lot, you know. The first few acts, the Stamp Act, all these acts, they rescinded. They were like, oh, okay, well, we won't tax you this way. But then what we ended up doing was being like, no, you're not going to tax us, period, unless we get represented in Congress. And of course, we weren't going to get represented in Congress because we were colonial. You know, was Canada getting represented in Parliament? Was India being represented in Parliament? No. I will say we probably started the idea of these countries being represented at all, but they were not going to let us be represented. All right, alliance broken. Poland, Russia, Spain, Great Britain, Poland, Austria, Poland, Prussia. Ooh. That is true. They all did gang up on Poland. I had a friend who, she was Polish, and she never understood why, like, Poland was the ire of everyone. Poland was actually kind of Europe's bully for a little while. During the Great Northern War and things like that, when people like Peter the Great had to, I'm not gonna say it like this, but I'll say it like this, knock them down a few pegs. The whole reason that happened was because Poland was kind of just running its way through Europe, and everyone was done with them. So, I believe the Swedish actually put a puppet in control of Poland during the Great Northern War. But Poland, at one time, the Polish-Lithuanian state was seen as a juggernaut. They were seen as a superpower, something that could rival other European powers. That's why it was very impressive when other countries did start to beat them. But then it ended up getting split between Prussia, Russia, and Austria. And that's why East Prussia and the Battle of Eloa, for example, Battle of Eloa takes place in East Prussia. Today, that's Poland. You can go to the Eloa battlefield, but it is in Poland. I believe the same thing with the Battle of Austerlitz. Austerlitz isn't even in Austria. I think it's in the Czech Republic, I believe. It's actually, let's run over the map real quick. Yeah, Austerlitz, I believe, took place somewhere over here. Like, technically, it was part of Austria, but it wasn't. Now, I know a lot of you are probably saying, Tim, this is not like you. You're usually already building armies at this point. The issue is when you're playing as the United States, you really need to focus on economics because you're so small at first that you literally have no other options because you need to get your country moving. Like, I need roads. Doesn't really mean anything if I can't transport things. All right, let me go home real quick. But yeah, as far as the American Revolution goes, I'm very happy it happened. I'm very happy I live in this country. But at the same time, when I boil down, from a historical perspective, I boil everything down and really look at it, we were in the wrong. I don't like to give the British a win because I'm Irish too, but we were in the wrong. We just wanted our we didn't want to suffer the consequences of the French and Indian War, pretty much. But how things change. I wish I set this that you don't have to watch everything that goes by. Alrighty. I hope that helps my economy a little bit. Alright, why are the Carolinas so upset? Wait, is that the Carolinas or was that Virginia? Nope. Policies. Oh, that's Virginia. What's wrong with Virginia? To be honest, they probably want soldiers. I don't want to do that, but at the same time, I feel like if I don't, I'm going to face problems in Virginia. Yeah. Also, for those of you, so this would be the Chesapeake Bay, so DC would end up here. In the American Civil War mod, actually, Maryland doesn't exist. It's just Washington, D.C., so this gets moved here, and that's the capital. But then also Richmond is right here, which that's the one thing I don't like about the mod for this one, and I kind of wish that Creative Assembly would make a Victoria Total War, because I feel like this is definitely a game that you should do the Civil War with, but you couldn't just do the Civil War. You would have to do, like, you know, the Schleswig War up here, and then the War of Austrian Succession. Not Austrian Succession, sorry. The Austro-Prussian War, the Italian Wars of Independence, the Franco-Prussian War, the Crimean War. You know, you would have to do something like that. You know, and you can even play in, like, India and everything, you know, the Mysore uprisings and things like that. I'm spending more of this game talking than actually governing my territories. I'm so sorry. Use my John Barry. Yeah, that makes sense. Oh, wait. My new port's open. Sweet. Who do I want to be trade? Like, Russia's big, but I feel like I'm not going to get a lot of money out of them. Let's do the Ottomans. I think the Ottomans would be a good one. Austria is also kind of collapsing. Are we trade? I am already with Spain. You know what? Prussia's on the rise, and I'm German, so yeah, I'm not about that deal though. I never get into an alliance this early. I'll do the Maratha, or I forget what it's called, just because I never get into an alliance this early, strictly because I do not want to get pulled into a war, because that's the thing about the first few rounds of this. They are all just going to war with each other the entire time, and you don't want to get dragged into a war. All right. Oh, wait, I'm not done with roads, am I? Nope. Okay. I will tell you all, Albany, not a nice city. I'm sorry if everyone who lives in Albany was offended by that, but I will not lie to these people. Also, let me do this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to send a Protestant missionary into Cherokee territory, because right now I kind of want to keep the Iroquois on my side because they're trading with me, and also I'm pretty sure they're allies with the British. Yeah. But the Cherokee, on the other hand, are at war with my allies and the Puebla. So the French won't attack me. The Spanish are here. So what I'll pretty much do is I'll probably raise an army up here and then march them down and take out the Cherokee. That probably just sounded so bad. Oh my god. And this is just water for those who think I'm drinking vodka or gin during this. God, I wish. Oh, Jesus. Sorry. Hope everyone has fun plans for Christmas. I really hope you can't hear my washing machine in the background. Interesting fact. I don't know why this just hit me. Maybe it's just because I saw the Russian flag. John Quincy Adams was a little boy when the United States first became a country, and his father had actually taken him to Europe with him because his father was the ambassador first to France, and then to Holland, and his father had actually. Let's raise it on the richer first. His father had actually requested the ambassador to Russia, the U.S. ambassador to Russia, to bring John Quincy Adams with him, and it was by doing this, John Quincy Adams actually learned Russian. He actually was educated in St. Petersburg because his father wanted him to become a lawyer like him, but he also wanted him to be like very learned of the world and everything. Let's do that because that's the capital region. First Delaware. That's just infantry. Good. Yeah, so I want to at least fight one back. I don't want these going too long. I freaking hate when gameplays go like an hour and a half, and I know it's impossible not to do that, especially with a game like Empire and Napoleon Total Wars. But France 4 years early. France is no longer a monarchy. The French tricolore is now over Paris, it looks like. So that means I am dealing with a republic now. The Bourbons are out of power, it appears. So let's see. Well, they're in power here in Madrid, but they're not in power here in Paris. Yeah, the Bourbon family, they are still ruling family in Spain. They're not in France, though. Yep, there we go. Republic of France. Dang, that happened quick. Yeah, the French, I believe it was Louis XIV's brother, the Duc d'Orléans. His son became the King of Spain because before him, it was the Habsburgs. And the Habsburgs were, that's the same family that actually rules Austria. But, well, did. They were very notorious for incest. And with incest comes birth defects. And pretty much what happened was the the Habsburg in Spain, I believe he was Charles III or Charles IV. He was so inbred, he physically could not have children. So there was this big war that then happened called the War for Spanish Succession. That's actually, if you look at a lot of things with pirates, a lot of these pirates, actually, that's where they gained their experience in naval warfares during the War of the Spanish Succession. A lot of the war took place in the Caribbean as well as in Europe. And pretty much it was the Habsburgs with, I believe, the English backing them, challenging France with, I believe, Prussia backing them. It was a weird alliance the way it ended up, I believe, if I remember correctly. But pretty much the idea was the Habsburgs wanted their prince on the throne of Spain, but the French, as in Louis XIV, wanted their prince on the throne. And what ended up happening was the French won, and it was a Bourbon who took the throne. Ben Franklin died. That's sad. I probably should start building an army, but at the same time, I feel like there's still so much I need to update. Let me just get my factories at least on the way. Tell everybody I'm on my way. Alright. Okay, so next turn, I'll actually start making soldiers, just because I kind of am getting to the point now that I don't want this to drag on too long, because I'm gonna do these in small bursts, these Total War ones. So how long ago did I start this? Yeah, so I'll do like a half hour, maybe 45 minutes each video for these, just because I don't want them to be too long. But yeah, that is how the Bourbons got in control of Spain. It's actually interesting. All the royal families of Europe to this day are actually related somehow. But also, if you look at the history of where these royal families came from, the Hohenzollerns, the ones that were the kings of Prussia and then the Kaisers of Germany, they actually started as members of the Teutonic Order. They were general marshals. They're like the commanders of the Teutonic Order. And pretty much the church had awarded them land in East Prussia and the Duchy of Brandenburg, which it's more complicated than that. But they were awarded this land for their service to the church, And when the Protestant Reformation came along, they said, why are we listening to this church? The church does not represent us. And they actually, that's how the Kingdom of Prussia started. They were pretty much rogue Teutonics. That's why the Iron Cross is a very strong symbol of the Prussian and German state. We like to think of the Iron Cross. A lot of these symbols that were unfortunately hijacked by the National Socialists were ancient Germanic symbols from the time of the Teutonic Order and things. The Iron Cross, the Iron Cross was a symbol as far back as the Teutonic Order. But the Hohenzollerns, that's how they actually became the ruling family of Prussia. They were just very high up in the Teutonic Order. He was just a general, I believe, and he was made one of the first princes, because they were a principality before they were a duchy, even before they were I think a duchy is actually lower than a principality. Oh, election's in. All right, Francis Bellamy. Oh, it looks like the same government. Oh, James, vice president. That makes more sense. Oh, George Washington, Secretary of State. Interesting. But who's the president? Oh, God. They got free. All right, Pennsylvania, construction, Springfield. Springfield's actually where the U.S. Armory was for the longest time. Take that one to the bank, everybody. I'm going to get some of these guys. I like the long riflemen. They're good fighters. Yeah, no, well, who's actually my general here? Nathaniel Greene. Interesting. Nathaniel Greene, he was at the Battle of Trenton. He also took command of the southern front of the American War of Independence. Probably one of the smartest military commanders we've ever had. I won't say the best, because I think probably our best military commander in the history of the United States, and this is probably going to be a debate, I am going to solidly say it was probably Ulysses S. Grant. Again, I know that's probably not a popular opinion, and I know a lot of my southern viewers are probably cursing my name right now, because Grant obviously does not have a very good reputation in the South, but I do believe he probably was one of the best, if not the best, military commanders this country ever had. Grant was able to recognize that the realities of war is you can't fight it with white gloves on. My Civil War videos, which I will be making some new ones. I promise you I will finish my videos on Shiloh. I'm also doing biographies on PG2 Beauregard, Sidney Johnson, William Tecumseh Sherman, maybe even Rosecrans. But the Civil War is pretty much where the old war fighting and the new way of fighting clashed. A lot of people say the American Civil War was the first modern war. Grant, I think, spearheaded that. And I think because of that, that makes him one of this country's best generals. Sweden's a republic too. He looked at the reality of what war is, and he said, why are we being gentlemen in this thing that is not gentlemanly? And I think that, sadly, as horrible as that is to admit, that was the path forward at that time, because we were very concerned on being, I often bring up this example of the Battle of First Manassas or Bull Run, when you had people picnicking while the battle was going on. This was this just shows the era, because that's not a thing. People are blowing each other apart. You're sitting there having toast and things. So I think Grant was one of the few in the Army at that time, because I'm a big George Meade fan. I think George Meade is one of the most underappreciated generals of the United States. Right there is a painting of him in Winfield Scott Hancock at the Battle of Gettysburg. But I think Grant was able to go that step that people like Meade and Hancock were not able to go to. And I think in doing that, it just proved how good a commander he is. A good general is able to adapt. We just did an entire, 2 business quarters worth of Napoleon content. Napoleon is probably one of the best generals that ever lived. One of the best generals. His biggest failure, though, was that he did not know how to adapt. And that was where his downfall laid. Okay. Oh my God. And again, it's sad because someone like Napoleon, who was so great, this was the man who ruled, who I think I used the quote, the old kingdoms of Europe shook when he marched by. He just didn't know how to adapt. One of my favorite lines in the movie Waterloo, with Christopher Plummer and Rod Steiger, is when Napoleon is attacking Wellington's right, and Wellington and Picton both go, they're coming in the old style. And then Picton responds, I guess we'll have to meet them in the old style. That was Napoleon's downfalls. He changed the game in fighting at the beginning of his era, but by the end of his era, he was so stubborn in his fighting style that he didn't think it was anyone would be able to adapt against him. But then they did, and then he fell. I wonder if this is him right here. Are they still my allies? There was this huge contention when the monarchy fell. Thomas Jefferson was 100% on board, because Thomas Jefferson actually helped write the French Declaration of Independence, the Declaration of the Rights of Men. But other people in Washington's cabinet, Jefferson was Washington's Secretary of State. Specifically, Washington's Secretary of Treasury, Alexander Hamilton, did not want to get involved in the French Revolution. So American neutrality was definitely something that was not viewed favorably. France, okay. So yes, we are still allies. Savannah, Georgia. My friend just went there. Alright, I probably should start making actual infantry. But I kind of want my New York regiments. Sorry if I just sounded like a wuss doing that. Well, you know what? It gives me time to upgrade everything else. Waiting for them. I know people that play this that they literally just enter until they get a lot of money, and then they just go ham. Also, I know you all are watching and you're probably like, why are you doing that? It's so much easier to raise troops, because if you do just like a regular like house, like a regular like government quarter, like a state house, it is such a pain to raise troops, because you can either raise militia, or if you're playing as the United States, you can raise Minutemen. And the Minutemen are great, but when you're fighting against like a European power, it's awful. I really wish I turned off looking at what they're doing, because I would just go. I can't believe people were upset with my Napoleon review. Actually, no, I could believe. Oh, who's this? Is anyone friends with people on Steam that they like don't even remember adding? Like, I have like 20 people on my Steam that I have no idea who they are. Like, is that bad? I feel like that's bad. That's probably not a good thing. It's probably not a good thing. All right, Diamond Formation, reorganizing the army, Confederation of Boston. Okay, let's upgrade that. Well, I should be able to get more trade. Morocco, Persia. I mean, Portugal would be a good ally, right? Venice also would be a good ally. Let's see what Persia can offer me. I feel like Persia would be a good. That's fine. Yeah, that brings me almost 800. I mean, 8,000. Okay, my New Yorkers. Yes! I get excited over very silly things, I know. The New Yorker is literally the thumbnail for this, so leave me alone. Alright, I have very little. People keep giving me their drama and I don't want to be involved. Oh, God, everyone help me. I want to get at least one battle in. That's why we're dragging this out, sadly. I want to make sure we get one battle in. And I really don't want it to be with the Iroquois because I feel like that's going to be such a bad idea. I gotta say, it's kind of impressive the Ottomans lasted as long as they did once, like the style of their ships against, like, ships of the line, it's like it's like you really have to think about it. It's kind of like crazy how they were able to like last as long as they did against like that. And I'm not saying they're not good. They weren't like a superior or anything like that. I mean, like, can you imagine like those kind of ships versus like old Ironside, you know, the USS Constitution? I'm gonna leave him there actually. Who can I recruit? Murphy Douglas. I don't know who that is. I don't think he's real, but we're gonna do it. But yeah, can you imagine those ships going against like those giant ships in Europe, like just like facing off? Like that'd be amazing that they were able to last that long. Okay, so I need 3 more. Of course, they don't have any here yet. All right, well, with the rest of that, I'm gonna keep building things. These pleasure gardens are actually super important. You know, if you're ever playing Empire Total War, never neglect your pleasure gardens because you literally it can make or break your region. People get angry. I once did this actually. There's a way for this. If you want to be a republic instead of a monarchy, you just make conditions so bad in your territory that literally what you do is as soon as as soon as you have like riots all over the place, you literally side with the rebels and take over your country as a republic. It's kind of funny. Let's hope my army can take on the double armies of the Cherokee, because it's also kind of a stupid. I never understood that, which there has to be some historical basis behind why the Cherokee capitals are directly next to each other like this. Like I can't imagine. Oh, someone's doing a good. That's a good missionary. That's a good missionary there. So pretty much what that means is if I now march into this region and take it, it's not going to be as difficult for me to hold it. Recruitment, Pennsylvania. I don't have any cavalry. Holy God. I feel like I should probably have... Oh, wait, no, never mind. I feel like I should probably have some cavalry in this army. Alright. It's so funny, you know, when I was young, I hated not having cavalry. You know, I was a big Lord of the Rings kid, so, like, I always thought, like, Rohan, like, that was awesome, like, a giant cavalry army. But now that I'm, like, an adult and I'm, like, playing these games, I'm like, cavalry is kind of useless in guns, when there's guns and things. You know, like, you can really, like, lose bad because of cavalry. Me and my brother were playing Napoleon once, and I literally just sacrificed my entire cavalry just to give my infantry time to reorganize. And he was mocking me for doing it, but I ended up winning the battle. And he's like, well, you lost all your cavalry. I'm like, yeah, well, you know, I think I'm getting to the point I realize cavalry's stupid. But I can't say that, especially with what John Buford did at Gettysburg. That was a very heroic thing he did with his cavalry, but that's also a different form of cavalry. I gotta say, for it being almost 40 degrees, it is hot. I get up and walk away, but it's super rude. Put my AC on, but then also put my AC on. Nick's gonna go back, and Nick's gonna be like, "Why is it so cold?" Folks, I am confused. Alrighty. Alright. Can I get any cool troops yet? No. Okay. Alright, now let's march this army south, shall we? Yeah. Interesting, one of the reasons I like to do this because I like to just see things and it makes me think of historical facts, and I think that's interesting to know. A real quick fact is during the Revolution, like here they have the Iroquois still existing. The Revolution, the Iroquois almost got completely wiped out, actually. Because, again, they sided with the British, and we, of course, were not very forgiving of that, but also what they were doing were, on behalf of the British authorities, were leading these raiding parties into colonial territory. So what Washington did was he ordered John Sullivan, I believe it was something like 1,000 horsemen, maybe, no, 1,000's a lot, maybe 500. He sent a lot of soldiers into the Appalachias, and they massacred the Iroquois. They actually chased them out, and that's why a lot of them fled into Canada. Like I said, like we know, I'm a New Yorker. Most of our preserves, our reservations, are I believe Algonquin. They're not even Iroquois. The Iroquois mostly got thrown out of New York, and it's which sucks because they're actually one of the earliest forms of a confederation. The Iroquois Confederation was where we got the idea for the Articles of Confederation, and we almost annihilated them. Oh, that's not good because they were giving me a lot of money. Why did they break their trade bargain with me? Why are they unfriendly to me? Unfriendly. Different government types. Sure. I'm kind of just needing money, so I will do whatever it takes to keep that income coming. Alright, let's try Prussia again. That's fine. I'll do that. I won't do a military alliance because that will cost me more than that will. Okay, one payment of a few thousand now, or getting dragged into a war that I'll have to pay a lot more for. So that's why that's okay with me. I feel like in real life they would find out I'm moving a giant army. I think Spain would actually be the ones freaking out seeing a giant army marching down from Pennsylvania. Yeah, because if I take those territories, then maybe I can negotiate with the Spanish and the French about taking Louisiana and Florida. I think St. Augustine's the capital in this, but obviously I completely forgot we were at war, but that's also probably why my economy is suffering. Because they've been pirating. Well, they have Dresden, it seems. Alrighty, let's see. There we go, 900. Treaty signed. Horse Picthy. Who are these people? Wait, does that mean? Okay, no, these are just all completely different people now. Okay. New nation arrives. Norway. Saxony is destroyed. Wittenberg. I might have made the right decision siding with the Prussians. Oh, yeah. Let me actually just real quick make sure the Cherokee are still not allies with anyone. Perfect. I think the Spanish will be very happy if I take them out. Excellent. Alrighty. Let's march to the border. Sorry, my friend is very concerned. Out of Virginia. Oh wait, that was Virginia. Maryland was always the first Maryland. It's fine. It's fine. I got my first New York. That's all I really want. Alright, let me see how stupid I could trick this game. Alright. Why does the Cherokee have... What? Sweet. Alright, before I do that, do I need anything else? Because, like I said, after this battle, I think I'm going to take the break for the day. Let me just do Pleasure Gardens. No, that's as high as it can go. Okay. Oh, God. They know something's up. What time is it? Oh, wow. I should have to do it in bed. I'm actually starting to sweat. Jesus. Sorry, I feel like I just looked as intense as I did at Austerlitz. That, you want to talk about brutal games. Jesus Christ, that was bad. I say Jesus Christ a lot. My mom's going to get really mad at me. Because she watches these and she hates when I say that. Come on. They're the ones I should make a deal with, but at the same time, I feel like that's going to be in vain. Wait. Is Norway... Wait, before I... The Prussians are in Algiers. That means they get African troops. Oh, no. I need to take out the Cherokee. Alright, let's do this. Oh, God. That backfired on me real quick, didn't it? Like how you just complain about not having, like... like... those guys ready, and now I'm literally... All I'm doing is... Oh, no, Cornelius died. That's unfortunate. I just literally complain about not having any, like, funds. I mean... about the buildings not letting me have infantry, and then literally everywhere I picked Minutemen. Okay, I hope they attack me, because that would actually be awesome. Why are people writing books to me? I don't... Okay, I'm not as concerned now. We might get two battles because I feel like I'm gonna have to. Literally, my entire military fighting force is in Cherokee territory right now. Like I have like militia all over the rest of the country, but my actual military force. Why is it only showing me Europe? Like, why isn't it showing me anything going on in India? Oh, see, that's why I had good troops there. All right, let me do this real quick. Just get those last few places. All right, what am I facing off with? Auxiliaries. All right, I'm not as worried as I could be. All right, let's do this, friends. Overgrown military establishment are under any form of government inauspicious to liberty and are to be regarded as particularly hostile to Republican liberty. George Washington, first U.S. president. Wow. So, that's funny because that goes back to what Dwight Eisenhower said to beware the military industrial complex. Yeah, it's true. Military, that's why the United States started out with no military. We were always supposed to be a volunteer force because the belief was military is a route to oppression. And actually, a lot of people aren't aware of this, but during the closing days of the American Revolution, the Continental Army was furious because they had not been paid. And they wanted, people like Horatio Gates and a few others were actually encouraging them to march on Philadelphia and on Congress. And George Washington actually went to them and he said, he's like, what is this what we fought for? Is this like what was this all about if we're just gonna do the same thing they would have done? The British, which the British probably wouldn't have done anything like that. But there was this beautiful moment where Washington is sitting there and he's like, I have a message here from Congress. And he's looking at it for a second, and then he's like, because the barn they were having the rally in was very dark. He said, my apologies, gentlemen. I have to grab my spectacles because my sight is something I've also given to my country. That's not the exact quote. It was actually a beautiful quote. What he said, something about how he had given his all to the United States, and that what they were doing was going to pretty much destroy everything that they had all sacrificed. That's why I like to call myself a Washingtonian. There's a method behind my madness, that's why I'm staggering the soldiers the way I am. Oh, it's my general. So did I just grab my general? That makes a lot more sense, actually. Oh my gosh. Now here they come. see. Oh, I wanted to fire something. There we go. Explosive shell. Now, I'm very upset that this is going to be my first battle because this is really not going to be much of a battle. Who is the cannon firing? They already fired off some shots. Who are they shoot? Oh, whoa, where did these guys come from? I like my long rifleman. It's like Henry. These are like, what's his name? Morgan. Morgan's rifles. They'll come back. They're only broken. They can reform. Oh, here they come. Oh, that was a good hit. You see how they go for the flanks a lot? That's why I do this weird formation. A lot of people don't understand why I always do that. That's why I always do that. Because they always go for the flanks. Okay, they're not coming back. They're shattered. Is no one firing? Why is... Oh wait, they're probably targeting the infantry. Wait, where are my New Yorkers? Yeah, they look cool. Oh, jeez. My problem is gonna be the axe throwers. They're gonna mess me up, I think. I think that's who these guys are. Yeah, they got the tomahawks. I call them axe throwers, but they're technically tomahawks. Oh, okay, here they come. Oh wait, no, they're not. They might not be. Yeah, because okay, maybe they are. Like I'm just sending my cavalry in to end it all. Oh wow, my entire front is getting hit. It's the regulars. Not my New Yorkers. Here come their reinforcements. They even hit you on the right. Come on, come on. I mean, I feel like it's not good that they're shooting them as they're running away, but at the same time, that means I don't have to fight them again. Tribal Gunners. How many guys did I lose in this charge? 49. Oh my god, I almost lost 20. Let's pull them back before I do lose 20, because these guys are coming in. Alrighty. I will say something about that. These are brave guys. I hate that literally these are just generals to be generals. Like, they don't actually serve a purpose. Did I lose my flag bearers in these? Oh no, I don't. Yay, my red flags was even still standing. This is actually kind of fast forward because the removal of the Cherokee didn't happen, I believe, until 1820, because that happened under Andrew Jackson, who's technically the founder of the modern Democratic Party. Well, Democrat Party, Democratic Party. That's not what they're actually called. The Democrats. Yeah, the current. That's where the donkey comes from, because of him being as stubborn as a mule. But yeah, the Indian Removal Act didn't happen until, actually, it might have been the late 1810s. That's something I should probably do a video on. That was actually something I used to teach in when I used to teach Native American history. This is the only thing that sucks about attacking a position like this, that they're going to keep coming in piecemeal, because it was almost a fully stacked army as it was. Oh, here they come again. Oh, these are archers. Well, bowmen, but archers. That's kind of crazy. It's also, that's something else that is always interesting, about like cultures and everything. The fact that in every culture around the world, their archery is a thing. Before we even met each other, archery was the thing in almost every culture. I've always thought that was interesting. That was the one thing that every civilization was like, what would work? Let's get a flexible piece of wood, put a string on it, and then we can projectile these pointy sticks at each other. Cossacks were actually using and that was actually something I did appreciate in the Napoleon movie, which shows the Cossacks using the bows and arrows on horseback. That was something they did do during that campaign. Hell, during World War One, some Russian units used cap box muskets against the Germans and the Ottomans. Yeah, they're not coming back. Okay. I hear these medicine men that have been running for like 20 minutes now. This is what we're going to do now, just because I'm not sitting here while these piecemeal armies come in. This is rough. Okay, what we got going on? We have more medicine. We have a lot of Oh, these are actually the only guys that might be able to. Yeah, because my casualties overall have not been bad. Thing is, are these the musketmen that are also like skirmishers? Because that's gonna suck. Let's move out from behind protection. I didn't lose a single frontiersman. Yep, that's exactly what I thought was gonna happen. It's literally what I thought was gonna. I knew it. These guys are like the Native American auxiliaries. They like have really good range. Oh my god. Alright, is that it? Oh no, their musketmen are still putting up a good fight. Where is he? Let's finish this off. Wait, what's that? Are those more? Oh my god, this feels like Zulu. There's so many. Okay, that'll be a little simpler to take out, though. I should have got Pulaski's Lancers. It's kind of what I want to invade Europe for. The Lancers are very good against fighting against the Native Americans. They shattered. Okay. Oh, jeez. Yeah, one of the reasons I fight the way I do in Total War, I don't know if a lot of you have noticed this, I'm very much destroy completely. I actually get it from that movie. I don't know if anyone's ever seen it, which kind of makes sense right now, but the movie Last of the Mohicans, where Macron, whoever the French general is, he says, "I wish not to fight these men, these same men, on another day," which is pretty much him telling the Native American, the Hurons, to slaughter the British and the settlers. But oh, geez, I am really losing guys here, aren't I? Yeah, let's pull you guys back. You're getting messed. Oh, it's because my guys are shooting into them too. Oh, geez, sound like Morty now. But yeah, there's this great scene where he says that, and it pretty much it's true though. It's you don't have to fight the same guys over and over again. And that actually did not happen. It's very strongly believed the French tried to stop it, actually, that infamous massacre, but the Fort William Henry massacre, the French actually were very opposed to it. They found it savage. I forgot what the freaking general's name was. He was French nobility, but he was very against it. And pretty much the Huron did what they wanted to do when they massacred the British. They weren't even actually technically British. They were Scottish. They were Scottish uh, soldiers. But it's true. If they would have gotten away, he would have to fight them on another day. That was the reason Ulysses. And again, this is where I go back to Ulysses S. Grant. That's why he stopped the prisoner exchange program, because all he saw it as was, yeah, we get our men back, but now the South, who already don't have a lot of men, we're just replenishing their ranks. And that's why the war is dragging on so long. So he was the one that ordered the exchange to end, because he just had enough of it. He had enough of fighting the same Confederates over and over again. Here they come. Oh, this is the first Delaware. I like their hats. Come on, boys. Come on, boys. There we go. I think this is the last of the Cherokee soldiers. Oh my god, they are going head first into me. I think that was it. Is that it? I think that's it. Did we win? I think we won. Yes. Alrighty. Whew. Wow. Oh, 1862 is remaining. I went in with 2,000 guys. They went in with almost 3,000. Almost. They lost 2,500. Jeez, they only have 161 guys remaining. Woof. Oh no. Region captured. Nation destroyed the Cherokee. Okay, sweet. So I'm actually going to destroy these, because then I could modernize it with British stuff. All right, well, that's a good start. That's a good start. We have the Midwest now. Oh, wait, is that whole... Oh, no, it's me. That's embarrassing. I was like, oh my god, what, this whole area in rebellion now? All right, so that is going to be it for today. We have taken the Connecticut territory, which is really Kentucky, and this would be Alabama and Western Georgia and things like that. Thank you so much for joining us today, friends. If you enjoyed the content, please like, share, and comment. Have some discussions. I know I said a lot of things in this video of different eras, different facts and everything. If you enjoyed them, comment what your favorite one was. I'm trying to make some shorts, and I think things like this is probably going to be where I'm going to make my shorts from. Again, thank you so much for joining us, friends. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. Even if you're returning, I know most of you that are viewing are returning to the channel and not yet subscribed. Just hit the little red button. Just right there. Just hit that little red button. Thank you again for joining us, friends, and we'll see you in the next one.